This is the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on song. This is the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on song. This is the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on song.
I am Abigail, and this is Sean, and we're so glad that you've turned this on and welcomed us into your home, and you are welcome into our home. We're in Dayton, Ohio. We're in Sean's parents' house.
My parents' house.
Sean's parents' house. We were in Louisville when the shit hit, and we packed our 3-year-old into a car. We drove kind of far. We drove here, and we've been so lucky and blessed to be safely here. And we thought we'd be here for like 10 days, tops.
What did we know?
What did we know?
What
did we know? We thought we knew a lot. We thought we knew a lot.
Keep going, keep going, keep going on song. This is a keep going, keep going, keep going on song. This is a keep going, keep going, keep going on song.
And we've been mostly healthy. We've been okay. Are you okay? Are you all right? Are you okay? Are you all right? Are you okay? I hope your body is whole tonight. And if your heart is breaking, I hope it's breaking open. And if your breath is shaking, I hope it's shaking through. And I hope that you've watched a lot of really great television, like a lot of it. And I hope that you find a hand lotion that actually makes your skin feel better. And I hope that you have enough to eat. I hope you're getting enough sleep, and I hope you have enough good company or enough good memory to last you a long time. Keep going, keep going, keep going on song. We sing the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on song. Let's bring some joy into the room. Why not? We could try it, or some rage, and some grief and relief. Ooh, I hope my rage, I pray my rage is a fire that cleans my mind out and makes me ready to listen. I pray my pain is a river that flows to the ocean that connects my pain to yours. And I pray my happiness is like pollen that flies to you and pollinates your joy. Oh boy, is that possible? I don't know. We are making this up as we go. We have to make it up as we go. The keep going song, the keep going song. Oh, we're making it up. We're making it up as we go. Keep going on song. And I pray that when we meet again, that the world has changed into the world that we are imagining now together. And I pray that the world has become the world that we're planting inside of ourselves for each other and for our ancestors and for our kids. Ooh, and we're gonna start. This is a rough beginning. That's all I've got is a rough beginning to offer you. We're gonna start by singing some songs in this tiny space together. We're just gonna sing some songs for you, and we hope that when you hear them, you will feel a little bit less alone, and we will feel a little bit less alone in the work and in the hurt, and we will be together tonight somehow, whenever this is, wherever this is. We will be together tonight.
This is a keep going on. Keep going on song. This is a keep going on. Keep going on song. This is a keep going.
Oh, wasn't that wonderful? Keep going on. We just make it up as we keep going along. And I can't think of a better community to be making it up as we go along than you all. So welcome, welcome to the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Life. So very good to see you. And it was wonderful to see a lot of you yesterday at the park, but I'll talk about more of that later. Standard kind of housekeeping. This is going to be recorded and used on our social media to build community. So do whatever you want to be as visible or as incognito as you choose. It is now my great honor to introduce our senior minister, Reverend Sharon Dunn. She has a master's in consciousness studies from the Holmes Institute, has been a Signs of Mind minister for quite a while, and she has been our minister for almost 6 years now. So it is my joy to make it up as we go along with Reverend Sharon.
Good morning, everybody. Wow, it's nice to see everybody in kind of wintry clothing. No more of these like strapless summer outfits, right? With our baseball caps. Now we're in like scarves and sweaters. I think it's getting to look like the end of 2020 soon. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I got overzealous there. So let's unmute and say good morning to everybody. At the count of 3, unmute. 1, 2, 3. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Hi, Margie.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
Namaste.
Oh, all these good faces.
Patricia. The divine in me loves the divine in you and sees it and all that.
Yes, and all that and more. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. 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 A lot going on today. Let's open this. Nice. Still going. So it's my pleasure, first of all, to say hello to everybody near and far. It looks like we have folks from Kansas with us and Puerto Vallarta and Loomis and Rio Linda and Antelope and here in Roseville. I feel like romper room. And I see Sacramento, I see Kansas, I see Mexico. This is wonderful. And it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our practitioner of the day, Margie Lukefeld, who is absolutely a wonder to our community. She is a practitioner for a long while. And what is true is that you can be a practitioner for a long while and never get where this beautiful being is. And please notice and enjoy this beautiful spirit. Margie?
Yes, thank you. And our November theme is living as compassionate conduits. And in the sacred place and a sacred moment together, there's only one God that's powerful and loving, perfect, balanced, and complete. And as I know that presence is right here, we are, each one of us, the conduit of that beautiful presence of life. And we take this love and we bless our service and we bless our message. That is for us personally from Reverend Sharon. And we take the music and we sing to it during the week and we dance with joy and we keep going. And as I know this is true for all of us, blessing this service and our talents and our time together, we just enjoy being conduits. And so it is. And our vision, you may join with me, mute it, is we are a welcoming sanctuary community where all are accepted, valued, and supported in the global family. And our mission is we inspire and nurture personal and global transformation through the teaching of science and mind. Our purpose is in joy and love. We connect in service to all life, and so it is. And please join us and enjoy the chat.
Amen. And so it is.
There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one.
Spirit, in this moment, I open to your grace. I open to your grace moving through my heart, holding and enveloping my heart and mind. As I allow this, I am rich with your forgiveness. Forgiveness for myself and forgiveness for others. It is so sweet to forgive. And I am so grateful that you, the love of Spirit, are helping me do it. From this moment forward, I open to this help. Always. In all ways. Thank you. Thank you.
You are my reflection. There is only one. You are my
And now for our readings. We need not leave the world, for we may engage in all of its activities without being controlled by them. We may be in the world of affairs as masters of ourselves and our minds. If someone comes along and shoots an arrow into your heart, it's fruitless to stand there and yell at the person. It would be much better to turn your attention to the fact that there's an arrow in your heart. True compassion does not come from wanting to help out those less fortunate than ourselves, but from realizing our kinship with all beings. We can make ourselves miserable or we can make ourselves strong. The amount of effort is the same. And now for our chant, followed by our own beloved Doug Van Workum, our in-house amazing poet.
Good morning, everyone. This is a poem I wrote back in May, earlier this year. And some of the ideas I explore are changing my thinking, letting go old beliefs, having a spiritual practice, and self-worth. Just a few lightweight topics to consider through your day. This is called There Is Always a New Way. Embracing a new idea is like starting a new path through the forest. When setting out, we may stumble over uneven ground, but the more time we walk there, the easier it becomes. When we choose to be goodness walking in the world, we become path makers so heaven and earth can meet. Remember, no matter where we've been or how long we've been there, a healthy new journey is only one step away. A wise woman once said, "Hold your understanding of truth loosely so it can grow." A wise woman once said, "Hold your understanding of truth loosely so it can grow." Don't accept a God that's only as big as you can believe. Blindness doesn't just live in the eyes. Discover the difference between trained and untrained thought. Clean the windows of your mind so the light shines in and out. Let your God always be greater than you can ever fully imagine. It's true, on some days I stumble and forget the Holy One. It's when I'm so far from home that I am glad the body remembers ritual. It's true, on some days I stumble and flat forget the Holy One. It's when I am so far from home that I'm glad the body remembers ritual. A healthy spiritual practice feeds us every day, always calls us home. Never fear to bring a partial offering to the altar of your life. Start right where you are. With all the knowing you have now, bring it with your whole heart. A spiritual path that doesn't lead to freedom in this lifetime is not worth following anywhere. There is an old Native American story that tells of two wolves inside of us. One is love, the other hate. The one we feed is the one that lives. No one stays in hell unless they choose to be there. Self-compassion is not for the faint of heart. Cast off all old beliefs held in this or any lifetime that threaten the opening of your heart now. Agree to let the walls come down again and again and again. Learn to feed the right wolf. Friends, do not dishonor the struggles and suffering you've known in this life. If you feel worthless now, it only means you haven't yet found your gold. Know you are valuable even before you were born, and you always will be. Step into the mystery. Join the divine dance. Discover your true knowing. Listen to that still, small voice within that whispers, never give up. Thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful, as always. Don't we have the most amazing talent in-house? Absolutely. And it won't be long before we all get to see one another in person, and we will see Doug with his drum again. How many want to see that? So thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome everyone. Today we are talking about how engaged is God in us, as us. How engaged? How engaged? So yes, we do know and heard from our practitioner that November's theme is living as compassionate conduits. And so today we're going to think of ourselves as transmitters. Are you with me? We're gonna think of ourselves as transmitters. A transmitter, right, is used to generate and carry messages. We are communicating through a conduit of compassion. So we've been looking at being a conduit the whole time, but then being a conduit for what? For transmission. So this came to me. I was very, very excited about it. So I'm going to talk about three things. I'm going to talk about how engaged is God as us and in us. And then the second thing is we are a channel for God. And the third thing is we stand for love in the world. And I love this idea. How engaged is God? And I thought, because I like to think of God as my beloved. I have a very intimate relationship with Spirit. Call it by any name. Call it anything, whatever feels intimate to you. Into me see. It is that intimacy of naming the Spirit, right? So it could be Bubba, it could be God, it could be anything. Spirit is living out its perfect life in us, and it is knowing more of itself through us. So we know this, that we know that the Creator creates through its creation, and certainly is not limited by its creation, right? And so the only way that it says here, the only way that Spirit has of bringing forth our values for a world that works for everyone is through us. Wouldn't that make sense logically? Now, I question the whole idea of the only way. Anytime someone tells me the only way, I've got to find another way. Anyone like me there? I've got to find another way. And so I'm thinking, if we're asleep, if we're not quite awake to all we can create, Spirit is still creating, okay? Spirit is still creating. So it may not be that we're awake or not awake, but others are awake. There are many people right now who are awake and who are busy in spiritual practice of creating a world that works for everyone. And we want to join them, don't we? And so Spirit, of course, is 100% engaged in us. So that's the question, and that's the answer. The answer is, how engaged is God in or as us? And I'm saying 100%. So if you were, I was thinking, if you're engaged, I don't know, have you ever been engaged? Raise your hand if you've been engaged to be married. Okay, well, there's Connie and Ken and Linda and Margie and Corey. Okay. I think I asked Chris to marry me. I'm not sure. I just couldn't wait any longer. He just never got around to it. I think I asked him. And so the question is, how engaged was I? How engaged are we? Well, we are as engaged as we believe that this decision to be engaged is the right decision. So this relationship we have with spirit, I think we can get in and out of believing if it's a right decision. Can we do that? Can parts of our life sometimes not, I'm not that engaged. And maybe other parts of our life, oh my gosh, how does anyone live without faith? I ask that. How and then all of a sudden I forget my faith. So basically what is going on within me is going on out there. And so this question of that we are 100% engaged with spirit and spirit being 100% engaged in us, this does not mean, and I like this does not mean pulling away and creating an enclave. And what does that mean? That means being closer to spirit doesn't mean being farther away from the world. And we've talked about this before, oh, how easy it is to go off to the monastery where they don't have CNN or Fox News or elephants or donkeys. Well, they might have donkeys. But they don't mean the same thing. Well, they might have elephants. Yes, they might. And so get this, that are we pulling or pushing? So being spiritual doesn't mean pulling away from the world. It means pushing for God in the world, or pushing for love in the world, or pushing for mindfulness in the world. Call God whatever you want to call it. How about pushing for unity in the world, pushing for oneness in the world? So are we pulling or pushing? This is what we have to ask ourselves. And this is how we master our thoughts and our minds. And so this idea of we are a channel for God. Our theme is, as you know, is compassion, right? Compassionate conduits. And so I thought, we're well into the third week of November, and I thought I better look up the word conduit. I know what a conduit is, but sometimes I'll look up words, and what'll happen is I get inspired just by the description of the word itself. And what I got was a conduit is a channel for conveying. It's a channel for the transmission of something, and it's a channel for ideas to flow. Isn't that wonderful? And so I thought, my heavens, it's a channel. And I have to tell you, what channel are you broadcasting? Or what channel are you tuning into? Because for the last several weeks and maybe months, I have been tuning into the channel of news that has been affecting how I am in the world. We have to not pull away from the world and go into our monastery, but at the same time, we have to be mindful of what channel we are listening to or what channel we're broadcasting. And so this whole idea of this media storm that we have going on, several of us might trust a certain station, a certain perspective, and some of us may definitely tune into another station or another channel that gets completely different news out to us. In other words, there's stories, and the stories are convincing from all sides. They're convincing. But what happens to me, I don't know if this happens to you, is I get into the story of the broadcast and forget my own story. I forget what I'm broadcasting. I literally get absorbed, and it changes my DNA. It changes my mood. It changes my chemistry. It influences whether or not I'm going to be upset or not upset. Has anyone had this experience? Raise your hand if you if the channel, what you're tuning into, if the channels you're watching or the channels you're listening to can upset you. Now here's the question. Here's the big question. And I'm not going to cry. I'm going to get this out. Is the information that you are listening to making you hate other people or turn away from other people or condemn other people? I have to admit, there's a lot going on right now that scares me. People are angry. People are very, very divided. People have a sense of civil unrest, guys, like we haven't seen since the 60s. And where are they getting this information? How are they connecting in this anger? Do you realize we actually connect through the transmission of information, through the conduit of media? And that is dividing each other? That's dividing me from you or you from me? You know, I did a lot of thinking about this, and I'm kind of excited about this talk, because what came from the talk, what came from looking at this deeply, was that I'm going to start broadcasting something completely different. I'm going to be broadcasting love. I'm going to be broadcasting unity. I'm going to be broadcasting compassion. And how am I going to do that? Well, guess what? We have a book of the month, and it's called Start From Where We Are. Start From Where You Are. Start From Where You Are, A Guide to Compassionate Living by Pema Chodron. She's a Buddhist monk, priest, very high up in the Shambhala movement. I believe she's at the head of the Shambhala movement right now, because she's an interim head because of some of the political things that have happened in the movement. So she's way up there, guys. And this is our book of the month. And I dove into it, and I found some gems that I highly recommend this book. I highly recommend this book. And one of the things that Pema Chodron is teaching us in this book is called Tonglen. Have you heard of, raise your hand if you've heard of Tonglen meditation, Linda, Margie. Okay. Tonglen meditation. I had not heard of it before, but she calls it ventilating the atmosphere. Ventilating the atmosphere. Aren't we concerned right now that there are not enough ventilators for our brothers and sisters who may be sick with COVID? Are we not peaking? And not on LSD here. I'm on COVID. And we're looking at how we're going to take care of those who are coming down with the virus. And Pema Chodron talks about ventilating the atmosphere. Like, we can be ventilators here. Every time you hear the word ventilator, you can be reminded that you are ventilating the atmosphere, that you're a ventilator. And how we're doing this is through this idea of Tonglen meditation. What is it? So she calls it sending and taking. Sending and taking. And we're doing it with the breath. This is easy, but powerful. So we have the in breath and we have the out breath. We have the inhale and we have the exhale. And that is what we're working with here. That's the ventilating we're doing. So this is not something that we've heard of in Science of Mind, I must say, because we look at Science of Mind looks at situation condition and circumstance as effects. And so how I'm tying this together is that, yes, we look at what is out there, what is out there, what is painful, and we don't turn away first. We don't turn away at all. We're going to see beyond, but we're not going to turn away, okay? And so what happens here is the Tonglen practice reverses, and I just love this, reverses our usual logic of avoiding suffering and seeking pleasure. So what we usually do is avoid suffering, right? And please give me pleasure. Correct? This is the opposite. This is, in this practice, we're literally going to visualize taking in the pain of others, taking it in the in-breath. And then we're going to send out whatever will benefit them on the out-breath. So remembering that everything that's going on the outside is going on in the inside. So what you're going to do is you're going to tap into that pain. Am I the only one that has pain around what's going on outside? We can tap into that, can't we? And what can we do to help? We can become ventilators. Isn't this amazing? And it's simple. It is simple. And the other thing that is really awesome is that it is a benefit to us. It liberates us from the old patterns of selfishness. We're not just going to shelter in place, ignoring the pain in the world. Oh, it's not happening at my house. Can't see it from my house. Can't see it. But what we can do is we can see it, and we might be tuning in to the news, and that'll be a good thing now, because it could be prayer request. We could look at it in a positive way, not to become angry and not to become more divisive, not to be judging and condemning those people who are doing whatever they're doing, whether they're protesting or whether they're just so angry or just whatever is happening, or those who are gloating and who are happy with things, happy with the way things are without a care for those who are not. You see where I'm going here? And so what we can do is this Tonglen practice awakens our compassion and introduces us or keeps us connected to everyone, but it gives us something to do to be helpful, which I think is really exciting. Another thing we can do is it can be done for those who are ill, those who are dying, those people who we have lost, or those who are in pain of any kind. Each one of us has experienced this kind of pain of loss. So we would tap into that, okay? We would tap into that on the in-breath. And then we would imagine or bring to mind someone that we know is going through this right now, going through this experience. And we would send them then in the out-breath this compassion, this love. You see, we could do it for the masses. We could do it for individuals. We could do it for family members. We could do it for ourselves. This is really a wonderful idea. So we're breathing in for all of us and breathing out for all of us. And we use this as medicine. This is medicine. This is medicine. Use what seems like poison as medicine. In other words, it's going to go in and it's going to feel big. And what do we do as religious scientists? We know the truth. But before we do that, let's send out the truth. Okay? So let's breathe in the situation, circumstance, and condition, and then send out the truth. See, so we're not doing a spiritual bypass, are we? We're not looking at it going, this is not the truth. We're not looking at it like, you know, that's you, not me. We're looking at it that this is happening to all of us. If it's happening to one person, it's happening to all of us. All right? Does this make sense? Are you with me? So usually we look away when we see suffering, don't we? But now we can be a life force. We can be a ventilator. Isn't this fantastic? Like, I don't think any of us will go away without remembering this, because it's everywhere right now. There are hundreds of thousands of people on ventilators right now. And we can be on one too, a spiritual ventilator. There's something we can do. And for me, it's like, I just love the idea of that there's something that I can do. So in briefly, to complete with this idea of Tonglen meditation, it has 4 stages, and all of this is in that book, and it's so amazing. The first stage is openness. So that they call it flash on bodhicitta. It's basically, we rest our mind for a second or two, and then we enter into a state of openness or stillness, and then we flash open. We awaken our heart mind, because someone mentioned, I think it was Doug or someone mentioned, open your heart, or we can open our mind and we can open our heart. It depends. If our heart is already open, we open our mind. If our mind is already open, we open our heart. And if neither are open, we open both. And we open to this clarity. So the first thing we do is just like spiritual mind treatment, right? It's recognition. We open to the one. And then the second thing we do is just like our second stage of spiritual mind treatment, or our second step, which is unification. This is called visualization. Stage 2, we work with texture. We work with what is happening. What's happening? We breathe in the feelings of heat, of darkness, of heaviness, and breathe out the feelings of coolness, brightness, and light. You see, we're breathing in which is going on right now. We're breathing in maybe the anger. We're maybe bringing in the division. We're maybe bringing in the hate. We're maybe breathing in the prejudice. We're bringing in the racism, whatever it is. We're breathing in the ideas that are causing us suffering. We're breathing in the suffering, okay? And then the stage 3 then is to focus on this painful situation. Focus on this painful situation. And stage 4 then is to expand our consciousness of compassion. Isn't this beautiful? So we're going to breathe in, right? Breathe in that which is causing our suffering, or causing our suffering for someone else. And we can tap into that we know. Everyone knows suffering. Raise your hand if you know suffering. So we can tap right into that. Isn't that different? If we're tapping into what is going on with our brothers and sisters out there protesting, or angry, or suffering, or having the appearance of suffering, we can tap into that personally, correct? And that takes us way away from condemnation, doesn't it? Doesn't it almost just crack your heart open and crack your mind open? And then we breathe out compassion. We breathe out. We're the ventilators. We breathe out peace and calm and love and light. And then we breathe in and we breathe out, and we stay with them. We stay with it. We stay with each other. We stay with each other. Isn't that beautiful? If we stay with each other, we can't be divided. And there are some of you here, I'm looking at your beautiful faces, who have been suffering with just it's not enough that the the pandemic, the economic challenge, the the political challenges, all the the climate challenges of what's happened to our state of California, even, and who's lost their homes, and that's one thing. That's one thing, but I watch you go through losing other things, other people, situations you're confronting that are beyond imaginable. I see you. I see that there are anniversaries coming up, that people are feeling like, oh my gosh, this time a year ago, you know, where we can smell the season, where that loss is imprinted in our souls. It has a season and a smell and food and all of this around it that reminds us of what happened just not that long ago, or what's happening right here and right now, that's happening in our own life right now, that causes us to be able to barely breathe. Are you with me here? We can be with each other in this. We can come from our own sense. I can tell you right now, I can tap into this my own way, in my own way, and I can be there for you. I can be a ventilator in our atmosphere. I can be there for you. And that way, if I'm there for you, I can't be against you. That's not the way it works. And so there are people that are flying different flags than me. There are people that have different clothing than I, that represent a specific way of believing, or there are people that are different in their religions or in their culture, or there's so much different going on right now. But we can be together in that different. We can Pema Chodron is so much fun. I don't know if you ever watch her speak, but she's just she's a tell it like it is girl. It's so funny to watch her. You're expecting this, this nun, this mystic, and she comes out and says, "Well, things really stink out here, don't they?" I'm just like, "Oh my god, I love you." But she says you can do Tonglen for people you consider to be your enemies. Oh no. Who wants to do that? Yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay. We can do Tonglen for them, thinking of them as having the same confusion and stuckness that we ourselves have. Who's going to admit with me that you've had some confusion and stuckness? Please? Anybody out there? Thank you. So you see how we can identify how that breath in could be relating to this, to feel. This is a feeling meditation. Okay. This is not a heady meditation. This is a feeling meditation. And as we do this practice at our own pace, we'll be surprised to find ourselves more able to be there for each other. This is something we can do to be there for each other. And the last thing I want to say is this idea that we stand for love in the world. We stand for love in the world. And let's all agree to start where we are. I just love this whole idea of this book. And again, I highly recommend it. And I don't usually go so bananas on our book of the month, but this one really got to me. And it was written a long time ago. And it's so relevant. Pema Chodron says, and this is from the book, times are, and remember that when this was written, times are difficult globally. Awakening is no longer a luxury or an ideal. It's becoming critical. We don't need to add more depression, more discouragement, or more anger to what's already here. It's becoming essential that we learn how to relate sanely with difficult times. The earth seems to be beseeching us to connect with joy and discover our innermost essence. This is the best way that we can benefit others. Isn't this great? I mean, here we are sheltering in place, and we're adding ventilators. We're adding ventilators to help the world, and they're not mechanical. They're spiritual, but just as powerful, maybe more powerful. You know, I always add our Declaration of Principles that Ernest Holmes, who is our founder and teacher, wrote. We call it What We Believe, and I picked this one for this week. We believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. And isn't it really important that we lead the way? You know, our teaching is what this world needs right now. Do you agree? This is the perfect time for us to contribute to what's going on in the world. And if you tune in to the news, it can be very frightening. Have any of you been frightened by the news and felt maybe like there's nothing you can do? Felt like, like helpless? How about hopeless? Well, that's not what we're going to do. That's not what we're going to do. We are going to, and our affirmation this week is I stand for love in this world. I stand for love. And so we are, right? We're one. So that means that in our I love this, cosmic democracy, we are connected at the subatomic level. We know this. Let us engage in the field and on the field of love and stand for love in all arenas. And I'm going to change that to stand for love in all channels. Stand for love as you're broadcasting. You are broadcasting. You understand that? Your thoughts are transmitting. Your thoughts are things, they're powerful, they manifest. So how about we turn in to the truth, capital T, and broadcast that. We're our transmitters. Isn't this amazing? And the conduit that we're talking about that I didn't realize until this third or fourth week, wherever we're at, this conduit, the conduit itself is compassion. What we're transmitting through the conduit is love. And how we do that, one way we can do that is through this idea of Tonglen meditation. Another way we can do it is through spiritual mind treatment. Another way we can do it is through journaling, through visioning, through visualization. Well, part of Tonglen incorporates visualization because we're going to be feeling what it is that we're breathing in, aren't we? So we're ready for this teaching because we're ready for this idea of this participating in what's going on and being a conduit. It's interesting how a ventilator gets plugged in. And a ventilator is interesting because a ventilator is a conduit because the person is literally hooked up to the ventilator. The person is intubated, and the person is intubated, connected to the ventilator that then is the conduit for the breathing in and breathing out. You see, we can do that spiritually. I think this is the most amazing thing. To be fearless, Pema says, we're on a first name basis. To be fearless isn't really to overcome fear. It's to come to know its nature. We don't have to turn away from being afraid. There's some scary stuff going on. How can we help one another? How can we help one another breathe in and breathe out during this time? We are ventilating the atmosphere. This is huge. And I'm grateful to have something to do, to help, to love. Just remember, every time you turn on the news, every time you listen to an opinion, that you have your own channel. You're a broadcaster. Award-winning. Award-winning. These people that broadcast in there have no Nobel Prizes. I love you guys. Let's do this. Let's do this. Are you breathing with me? There's someone right here and right now in this virtual sanctuary, in one of these windows that you see, that need your breathing in and your breathing out, that need your ventilation right here. And if it's happening right here, it's happening everywhere. Let us pray. And so if your heart has a prayer on it, you can absolutely put it in the chat. You can also put it on our website, and the ecclesiastic team will pray for that request for a week. You can also meet us in fellowship after this service. We just stay in the Zoom room, and then you'll go into a breakout room with a practitioner, and that won't be recorded. It's private. It'll just be you and that practitioner. It's a 5-minute. We call it a 5-minute miracle. We just know that there is something very, very powerful happening right now to humanity. Something wonderful and powerful is happening. And we call it together. We call it together right now. And, I've often said, just lay your burden down at the feet of the one who lifts us all up, who created all of us, who connects all of us. It's power, it's love, it's light, it's infinite. It is the one life that is my life. It is all my life. It is the only life. And so I have those names too. I am power. I am peace. I am abundant. I am intelligent. I am beauty. I am wholeness. I am infinite life. There is no place where my life stops and starts. And I know that for each of us. And so we come here, we come to the well to be fed, to be reminded that there is a power greater than myself, creating everything out of itself that I can use. There is good, and I ought to have it. There is good, and each one of us ought to have it. Name your good. My good is wholeness. My good is love and light. My good is the ability to breathe in that troubles my brother or my sister and breathe out the truth that uplifts my brother and sister. That I am capable of tapping into this intelligence, this power. I absolutely am the broadcaster. I am the channel for love. I am the channel for God. I am the channel for power. I make a difference in the world that works for everyone. I am every day waking up with a purpose to love. That's my mission, my purpose. It's the vision for my life. It's the reason I am. And I know that for everyone here. I know that for everyone, every sentient being, every animal, every tree. I am so grateful to know this. I am so grateful to know exactly what to do and how to do it. And so this prayer is answered. And I give thanks for that. I'm humbled by that. And I release my word into the law because I trust that. I trust that law. That law can be trusted. And I release my word with a breath in and a breath out. And one more time, a breath in and a breath out. And so it is. Yeah.
Hi, my name is J.D. Morton.
I'm Jan Garrett. Love wins.
Love wins every time. So now this is our offering time, and what we are offering is an opportunity for you to give. You can give 3 different ways. You can give through our website at www.saccsl.org. Using PayPal or credit cards, just look for the donate button. It is on our homepage. Or you can give by ordering or by sending, a check to the sending a check and mail to the SCSL mailing address that is shown on your screen. Thank you. And now for abundance affirmation, we'll say this together as we stay muted. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine to share and my willingness to share it. Being in the flow of the law of circulation, knowing that my gift returns to me multiplied many times over. And so it is. And it's time for our announcements. As always, you can keep up to date with everything that we're doing on our website, on our meetup space, and our Facebook page. So if you don't have a calendar or a piece of paper to write the details down, you can always get them from there. Got a couple of things going on. There is an upcoming series on our Wednesdays of the month, the Wisdom Wednesdays. It's going to be on EFT, emotional freedom technique, a tapping technique. So please join us for this. We are going to skip the 4th Wednesday in both this month and next month because they're the night before the holidays. But this is a wonderful series. Please make yourself available to this wonderful technique. Yesterday, we were at Roush Park collecting socks and snacks for a group called the Homeless Assistance Resource Team, or HART. And we had a wonderful time in the park. Trust me, our HEART was wide open as we were collecting for heart. We've got another collection. This is more ongoing. And there's a store at the Sunrise Mall next to the movie theater that's called the Underground Connection. And they are accepting clothing, particularly warm clothing and shoes for kids that are referred by the San Juan Unified School District. And there's very specific times that you can drop things off, just on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So please, as you're cleaning out your closets and you're looking at the things that no longer fit, please drop them off for the teens. The Heart is a wonderful organization. We are delighted to be working in conjunction with them, connected into the community, because that's part of what we do. We've got one last thing. We are also connected to the community by participating in the Toys for Tots program, and we're doing it with the Speed World Raceway over on Corporation Road. So bring toys and drop them off anytime. And I love it that it says toy batteries are not needed. So don't worry if you pick up one of those toys that require batteries. Don't even worry about it. So there you go. As I said, check out our social media for everything that we're doing.
Please join us in our closing song. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
Yes, and remain muted as we say our affirmation for the week. I am and will be a stand for love in this world, no matter who is listening. I am listening and I am engaged. And so it is. And going in within and the gratitude that we feel right now for this service and the blessing that we receive from Reverend Sharon, the message of engagement and the conduit and the ventilators and how we work together, breathing in and breathing out as we go through the week, remembering this message and our affirmation and appreciation for our poetry and our music and all the talent and our members and everyone in the world. And we bless and send it out with love. And so it is. And join us for fellowship.
Thank you. That was amazing. Hi, everybody.
Yay.